dream. Martin had a dream. Kendrick have a dream. All my life I want money and power.
My topic of oration is complacency. You can only be led to the fountain of victory once you are thirsty for resolution. This is not a speech about civil rights. It is 2013. If you don't know by now that no one can take your rights away from you, you are one of three people. 1, you are trapped in one of America's dilapidated inner cities. 2, you still think money is your key to happiness. Or 3, you are pleading, bleeding, walking, talking damn fool. Because this is not a speech about civil rights, I will not bore my peers with historical dates or cliche quotes, nor will I stand and present my best Black History Month rendition when we celebrate a few famous people like Dr. King in the I Have a Dream speech, while overlooking that without the 200,000 people standing in front of the Lincoln Memorial, that speech would never have existed. I would, however, like to share how much the two of us have in common. While defending himself against some white clergymen who called him an outside agitator and an extremist, Dr. King explained how he stood between two opposing forces in the Negro community. One force is a mixture of poor Negroes so shaken by oppression that they lost their sense of self-worth, along with middle-class Negroes who got so academically and economically comfortable they forgot where they came from. The other force was a group of various Black nationalists, fueled by hate, that were reacting to segregation by instructing their own methods of segregation. Today, in 2013, I stand between two shockingly similar forces. One force is a mixture of young college students, freed from the shackles of parental guidance, torn between procrastination and turning up. The other force is young people, much like the thugs in my hometown of Baltimore, who turned that bitter hate in their hearts of Black nationalists onto each other. Dr. King would attest that the former is more shameful for African Americans, while the latter is more shameful for Americans. The first opposing force is shameful for African Americans because there's a rumor circulating that our historically Black colleges and universities are dying. Some argue they are obsolete, that they are buildings stripped of their historical swagger. Well, look no further than our classrooms, our student organizations, our offices, our administrative buildings, and our communities. There you will find the root of this assumption. We have been stealing the collective efforts of many to pursue selfish endeavors. We got that college acceptance letter, approved job application, that position of authority, got cute and comfortable. I call them the cute and comfortable crew. But my fellow Aggies, we are the dictators of the cute and comfortable crew. We are the ones asking our friends for rides to the clubs more than we're asking for rides to the libraries and museums. We are the ones that allow the institution to raise tuition every year because we can't wait to spend that fat refund check outside of the community. We are the ones waiting until the end of the semester to visit the professor's office and explain 4 months of procrastination. And that is because we spent 4 months encouraging each other to turn up, more than we're telling each other to shut up and tune in. And we are the ones who would give a thunderous applause after a statement like that, so we don't have to face the reality of it later tonight and this weekend. Congratulations, you meet the requirements to join the cute and comfortable crew. The second of these two opposing forces is shameful for all Americans for a simple reason. It is this capacity we have to turn a blind eye from injustice. Our ruined inner cities and perpetual gang wars began with the great fall of Black nationalists like Malcolm X and the Black Panther Party. After the American government, the FBI, jealous whites, and various police departments succeeded in brutally murdering such figures, thus emerged a new Black America. This Black America is cut off completely by every single American, Black and white, that has the power to heal its wounds. This dark abode was purposely filled with drugs and is economically, socially, and sexually exploited every time it creates something beautiful because corporations extend their greedy hand further than their helping one. The only resources we own are the guns left by the Black nationalist predecessors, which are now only used to protect ourselves from ourselves. The children of this Black America have to walk past 3 liquor stores to get to a school that made their parents drunkards in the first place. Not only do they kill each other, but even now in 2013, they still suffer at the hands of armed policemen in their brutality. Instead of guiding and protecting us on the path of success, they only stop us in our path to hand us seatbelt tickets. Not only are we, America, and especially HBCUs, turning a blind eye, the media hides this great American tragedy that has persisted since the 1960s 60s and 70s. Some say it is capitalism. But regardless of what ideology white men are trying so hard to conserve, I place a scorching spotlight on my own communities. My communities which are divided in itself. Two communities which mock and ridicule each other. One which sags their pants and expose their breasts to model the image of one, while another sells drugs in their souls in order to obtain the image of the other. It seems, with the election and the re-election of President Barack Obama, many of us are now believe we have made it and there's nothing more to be done. But let me reiterate, you can only be led to the fountain of victory once you are thirsty for resolution. Now, Dr. King and myself would never agree on nonviolence. I was raised to be respectful, and if someone physically disrespects me, I am to correct their poor upbringings. Yet we both have a deep worry and anger for complacent people. Today in 2013, I ask my people, what do you want? What do you hope to gain on this land cultivated with our ancestors' blood? Is it safety and security? Then why are the only sirens I hear coming screaming from the policemen who only take this away from us? Is it stability and education? Then why don't the talented tenth of us who graduate refuse to improve and patronize the same schools that raised our minds and shaped our understanding? Is it family and community? Then why does our music still confess how broken our hearts are and how disoriented our priorities have become? The problem, my friends, is that many of us came here to see a contest, but how many of us came for answers, came for confirmations? How many of us are here so thirsty for resolution that we will die of dry throats before we ever again settle for a cup of somebody's watered down bullshit? Like Dr. King, I believe God sent me to send my people to the fountain of victory. So I don't want your applause unless you plan to use those hands to open doors of opportunity. I don't want your standing ovation unless the 2 feet you stand on are willing to walk into the lion's den. I don't want your screams and shouts unless you speak with a tone similar to a grand piano with the black keys missing. In other words, your voice better tell me that you realize from the lowest basis of slavery to the highest pitch of the White House, somewhere in the middle our identity was lost, and you are willing to do whatever it takes to get it back.